TGI Fridays is an American restaurant chain that opened in 1965. Thank you for your suggestion.
At TGI Fridays, we let our chefs flex their muscles, and we have a whole new menu to show for it, with enticing new items like bruschetta chicken, natural Angus meatloaf stack, and crispy orange chicken. In all, there are 14 new dishes to tempt your taste buds. Our compliments to the chefs. Check it out. The new menu is in at Fridays.
Manhattan's Upper East Side was the location Alan Stillman chose to open the first TGI Fridays restaurant in 1965. He opened the restaurant on 63rd Street and First Avenue with a $5,000 loan from his mother. He lived in a neighborhood with many airline stewardesses, fashion models, secretaries, and other young single people on the east side of Manhattan, and hoped that opening up a bar would help him meet women. He sought to recreate the comfortable cocktail party atmosphere in public despite having no experience in the restaurant business, since his previous job was a cosmetic salesman. "I had no understanding that I couldn't do it," Stillman said. "I insisted on good fries and hamburgers. Beyond that, I didn't know anything, that's for sure. We just discovered it as we went along." "My business plan was to meet a lot of women," founder Alan Stillman said. "It's a hell of a business plan, I'll tell you that." TGI Fridays quickly became a prime hangout for young adults and was often completely packed. He created a jazzed-up restaurant and bar designed to appeal to a professional crowd, with the latest food and beverage selections offered in a friendly, vibrant, and energetic atmosphere. TGI Fridays soon became a hotspot for the city's single professionals, and some would credit it with bringing about the country's single bar scene that would continue well into the 1970s and 1980s. First-year revenues for the bar and eatery reached $1 million. The concept worked, and 5 years later, a second TGI Fridays opened in Memphis, Tennessee, followed 2 years later by a Fridays restaurant in Dallas. The Texas Fridays sales reached $2 million that first year. A year later, another Fridays opened in Houston. I would say at the time it was an awful lot of luck involved. The first piece of luck was calling it TGI Fridays, Stillman said. He said the name stood for "Thank God It's Friday." Television commercials for the chain have also made use of the phrase "Thank goodness it's Fridays." If you ever went to TGI Fridays in the 1970s or 1980s, you might remember the exterior featured a red and white striped awning and blue paint. The gay 90s interior included American-made Tiffany-style lamps, mostly by the Summers family, wooden floors, bent wood chairs and striped tablecloths, and the bar area added brass rails and stained glass. And speaking of the bar, almost every Fridays location includes an airplane propeller at the bar. The propeller symbolizes the engine that moves the business. The employees would wear form-fitting red and white striped soccer shirts, and every time someone had a birthday, the entire restaurant crew came around with a cake and sang TGI Fridays' traditional birthday song. And who can forget this?
And
We need to talk about your flair.
really? I have 15 pieces on.
Well, okay, 15 is the minimum. Okay?
Okay.
Now, you know, it's up to you whether or not you want to just do the bare minimum or, well, like Brian, for example, has 37 pieces of flair on today, okay? A terrific smile.
Okay, so you
TGI Fridays began selling potato skins in 1974 and claims to have invented the dish. It's still one of the most popular items on the menu. By 1975, TGI Fridays had evolved to 12 restaurants in 9 states. The chain caught the attention of Minnesota-based hospitality giant Carlson Companies, Inc., which purchased the Fridays line with plans for expansion. Carlson Companies operated the chain as a private subsidiary, Fridays Restaurants Worldwide. TGI Fridays continued to grow with the surge of the singles scene, expanding to Colorado, Florida, Illinois, and Missouri by 1978. With this sale, Stillman and the original investors departed. Stillman kept the original location and, now married, founded Smith & Wolinski in 1977. By 1984, the nearly 20-year-old company had grown exponentially to 105 restaurants and continued to refine its menu with innovative food and beverage selections. Steady and consistent growth of the Fridays chain continued into the 1990s. In 1990, there were 169 restaurants in the TGI Fridays system. By 1993, there were 243 Fridays in the United States and 20 more restaurants abroad. In the mid-1990s, Fridays Restaurants Worldwide organized into 3 divisions: TGI Fridays, TGI Fridays Front Row Sports Grill, and Fridays American Bar. They were 3 slightly different models of the Fridays concept. By 1995, Fridays system-wide revenues had exceeded $1 billion. The company had opened facilities in 8 foreign countries, including Australia, Brazil, China, Indonesia, and Switzerland. By 1997, they were in Russia. Over the years, TGI Fridays had grown to become a popular spot for families as well as singles, and the company was committed to catering to both market segments. Despite the middle-aged feel of TGI Fridays restaurants and growing competition from similar casual dining chains such as Applebee's and Chili's, Fridays was often a local favorite, winning awards and recognition in cities all over the country for Best Late Night Restaurant, Best Location for Kids Parties, Best Happy Hour, Best Burgers, Best Kids Menu, Best Gourmet Burger, Best Appetizers, and so on. In 2002, Carlson Restaurants Worldwide implemented a revitalization plan for its Fridays restaurant. For an estimated cost of $200 million, Fridays planned a system-wide makeover featuring a modern look, less brass and more chrome, less decorative clutter and more class. The makeover included redesigning the look of each Fridays restaurant inside and out, new music, menu layout, and menu selections. By the early 2000s, TGI Fridays had expanded across the US and internationally as part of the hospitality group Carlson. But after the 2008 financial crisis, sales in the restaurant industry started dipping, and in the following decade, TGI Fridays closed more than 200 restaurants in the US. In 2013, the company logo would change. The next year, TGI Fridays was resold to Sentinel Capital Partners and Tri-Artisan Capital Partners. The newer TGI Fridays franchises are more contemporary with wallpaper, granite exteriors, and red and white striped lamps instead of Tiffany. The exteriors are stucco and the entrance doors have F-shaped handles. And a metal cup above the door has a stripe saying, "In here, it's always Friday." Today, there are over 600 locations worldwide, with around 282 Fridays locations in the US. So what do you remember about this place? Leave a comment or a suggestion for a future video below. And if you haven't already, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.